Good day, friends. Good day, lovely humans. Well, not much to say about incoming apocalypse. We had them many, right? How many of you been read or heard or watched the videos about imminent meteor, imminent tsunami, imminent any other kind of, so-called natural diseases or natural destructions that actually nobody even considered that none of these happened. At least not on this organic timeline where we actually sit. And when you're watching this really wise and absolutely silly videos of mine. So I want to thank you all who are daring to see this. That's why my titles are quite, let's say, intriguing, very sometimes provocatively dumb, and I really encourage you to start making your own dumb videos that will show that you don't care anymore, that you don't care for the old so-called perceived values that have no real meaning. So, another dumb title: Capitalistic Apocalypse. Is it at our doorstep? Well, meteors are, threatening us, tsunamis, volcanoes, and all the other crap, yet none of this happened. So I ask you, why? My answer to you: because you did not care. You did not bring too much of your attention to any of these. If you don't cherish something with your thoughts, with your everyday talks, these things will not appear in your life, or will appear in a very weak and not important way. So now I would like you to start thinking about the title, Capitalistic Apocalypse. It was a YouTube ad apocalypse, like advertisement apocalypse that happened to the YouTube, so they lost pretty much their pants, their belt, and the underwear all together. So now they just operate on the pure grace of the divine energy, because many creators were putting their energy in there, so they're kind of living on the traces of pretty much nothingness. So this capitalistic apocalypse, I would encourage you to start really engaging with the thoughts that you will actually benefit from this when this happens. It doesn't mean that production of cars or your favorite coffee will stop, but the capitalistic pricks that they were ruling the world, they'll feel it to the point that they will go right to their bone. The pain will be so excruciating, it'll be so damning for them that they will not allow to say they were ever capitalists. Yes, we were living based in a capitalistic society, capitalistic, mental block or configuration of our thoughts were all based on the materialistic or capitalistic existence. So we almost thought that we cannot live if we don't work. We almost thought, we constantly thought that we cannot actually receive any money if we don't work. If we don't work, we cannot have a food. If we don't have a food, suddenly we are dead, or we thought that we could die. But when you realize on these two beings on the screen, or whatever, you want a half being and then you have a full being sitting with a cup there. He's enjoying his espresso. on the street. Doesn't have to pay extra, tips or anything to the waiters to have a special table view of the, Buckingham Palace and so on. No. Has a nice view of some kind of, skinny legs or chicken legs. Yet these legs are carrying branding all over. Skirt, panties, bags, makeup, hairdo, nail polish. These are all the materialistic expressions of somebody's dumbness, somebody's uselessness. If this is their own, let's say, reason to be alive, to be somebody who can show you a different nail polish on the next whatever meeting or next coffee, absolutely ludicrous. But look at this guy, calm, relaxed, has a nice view. Let's say to the male it's a nice view. So why we wouldn't even thinking that we need another apocalypse in this way? Capitalistic one. Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto and many other Ethereum new smart contract dudes will actually emphasize this on every day. Every time a new Bitcoin is created, every time new Ethereum is created, what's happening with the capitalistic values? They shrunk and shrunk. So suddenly you can put thousands of fake dollar value into one Bitcoin. Or you can make Ethereum smart contract that is related with, let's say, some true humane values, like equality, like universal basic income. This will actually totally crush and demolish this capitalistic approach or style of thinking, style of our philosophical agenda that we could not even think without considering how much we're going to be paid. And it was okay for you to, let's say, go in some of the Germany, Austria toilets where you have to pay to go in. Or even worse, when you have to pay out when you're coming out from the toilet. So really hoping for the capitalistic apocalypse is almost, to me, same as having, wishing for the miracle. Because whoever is just slightly being affected with this capitalistic theft and materialistic, let's say, greedy virus of, self-importance, fame, power, control, they will actually start seeing a bit different. Because none of these values will become prominent. It will not matter how much you make or how many employees that you enslaved. It would not matter what size of the house that you have, or your vehicle has 4-wheel drive or 3-wheel drive, or just like one wheel, which is your middle wheel on the bicycle. So what if we all start switching into a mode of being equal? Being equal as a human, being equal as a being. But not only being equal, so not only being equal with another human or another bipod, but being equal with an animal. Being equal with a tree who has absolutely freedom to grow wherever it chooses to. So when you choose to live in, doesn't matter, Wisconsin, who would say that you're not allowed to go there? You like the name, you like the trees over there, so why don't you? Because you've been driven by this, let's say, capitalistic fascism, where we have to follow the established rules of engagement. Who has money, they can buy the land. Who has more money, they can build a house. Has even more money, they can build many houses, and then they can start making more money from other people by renting, and so on. So now what we are bringing, and don't take me too kind of easy, because my words stick, my word stays, my words are heard. So when I'm saying these things, even if they are very silly expressions of mine, they are really powerful. And I can vouch for it, because I saw for all this, like many years in this lifetime and many other lifetimes, where I saw the power of the true intrinsic word. So my word for today was: the capitalistic apocalypse is upon us, and it will not hurt you whatsoever. You'll be actually very pleased for what you're going to, let's say, gain, or how you're going to become enlightened when you see that these two people, even if they're representing at the present, false narrative, two opposing very poor and very rich and stupefied bitch, or whatever she is or it is, in the new paradigm, this guy is absolutely happy, healthy, and having his espresso, caring less what this creature is carrying in her branding bags. So equality as such is the must, but it cannot come being forced by others. It has to come from within you, that you have an urge to really be equal with everybody and anybody, meaning not putting yourself over anybody else in a human form or in any other living form. Like if you're eating an animal, you're putting yourself in a higher carnivore level than these animals are. So how to rectify this? Simple. Stop eating meat. How to rectify being stupefied like this creature with so many bags? Start giving away what you kind of accumulated by the capitalistic approach. Start truly gifting it away. And this is a message to Jim Carreys of this world and all the other so-called celebrities who suddenly found a spiritual path towards, I don't know really where, but if they really want to show that they've changed their attitude, they're not caring for their fame, they're not caring for their, let's say, material goods, they start actually giving away all of their goods, houses, money, if it's not already taken from them. So there's no other way but to make a world around you more equalized than when you came in. You came in as a babe and you just been like pushed, indoctrinated into a total, like a slavery mode, when you have to become and compete with every living creature around you. If they don't agree with you, you will eat them. Chickens don't agree for you to eat them. That's why they give you eggs. That's why cow gives you milk or cheese or whatever you want to consider making it from this milk, so you don't eat the cow. Yet we, as a stupefied humanity, we thought that we were better than animals. We thought that we will avoid this apocalypse, that it's actually already started in 2005, October 27th, when creation lightship came into, let's say, our awareness. So what does it make any difference? What's happened in the last, let's say, 12 years? Pretty much nothing. Or everything. Because every single one of us is a different person that it was at that time. And I'm talking personal experience, and I'm talking many other experiences observing people around me and that I met through my, let's say, last decade and a half. We are actually entitled for a change. We are entitled to go out of this materialistic attitude of doom, an attitude of really apocalyptic approach towards everything. What if I tell you that the word apocalypse means equality to all? When the major flood is happening, what the water is doing is just leveling everything. Doesn't matter what kind of size of the house you had, they're all under the water. So it doesn't matter how much fiat dollars you had on your accounts, when Bitcoin really equalize all the financial markets. It will equalize them. It will not destroy them. So being in the deeply ingrained, talking myself, in the field of the cryptocurrencies, and especially the Bitcoin, I can tell you that this is the only place where I see a true light. When people talking gold, dollars, currency exchanges, Wall Street, financial tricks and deceptions, I don't see anything even slightly equal among any of these creatures, except they'll be all pretty much wiped out with this apocalypse if they don't change, if they don't start really approaching their own wrong attitudes towards others in a different way. Start seeing others as equals. Start acting towards equality. So if you have a couple of million on your account, teach others who has none or very little how to buy a Bitcoin with the dollars that you're going to give them. If you don't, and if you still want to hold it to the very last second, it will be actually absolutely wiped out from your energetics, from your ownership in an instance. One day you'll have a portfolio of whatever, 20 million in the stocks, in gold, in so. Next morning you wake up, it's a total disaster, but only for some of you, or for, let's say, quite a big chunk of population who was living in just material world. So my next question for you will be, what to do when material capitalism as such is no more? Where to turn? Where to start looking? My suggestion? Start looking within.